So, if you've ever been curious as to what 60 people dressed up like Santas looks like uh, going down a major urban street, stay tuned because that's coming. This is the first week of December. It's the Johnny Vello Santa ride. Rode from my house. I was not anticipating a lot of problem with the snow, and I didn't have a lot of problem with the snow. About 5 days previous, it had snowed about 5 inches. I really wanted to go out in that, but my wife said no. The first problem I encountered was that pedestrian bridge. I didn't really consider that. That was a little ways back in the video. You saw the snow was packed here. I'm on a portion of the Olentangy Trail here, kind of a back section of the trail. Everything was pretty good right up until I go off to the left here. This is a section of the trail that isn't used much. It doesn't look like it's been treated. Had not had a lot of traffic. So as I rode through here, my strategy was try to pick the dry sections of the pavement. That turns out to be not the best strategy. A lot of looks like it's melt and refreeze. So I had some trouble staying up here. So I seem to be going from rut to rut, and sadly it took me a little while to figure this out. In fact, as I almost come off the bike at one point, which somehow I found humorous. But I was a whole lot better off to get off the trail and just go through the snow, which eventually I do, and then it leads me up into a city street, which wasn't nearly as bad. It's about 25 degrees today, kind of cold. So recently, I've heard a lot of guys on the YouTube giving advice on what to wear during the winter, during cold rides. And let me say this, you should probably listen to them. I can tell you what not to do. Here's what you shouldn't do. You shouldn't dress in layers like I did and then put on a big Santa sweater. That didn't seem to do me any good. Fact is, it trapped a lot of moisture inside, which got kind of uncomfortable when I had to stop later on. So don't do that. I've had success in the past doing layers, but to be honest with you, I don't have a lot of experience cycling in the winter. I've just recently returned to cycling, but even when I was cycling, say 15, 20 years ago, winter is usually when I ran, not when I cycled. This is at the start of the ride. Johnny Vello is the local bike shop that sponsors the ride. They do a great job of this. Their bike shop is on North High Street, so people gathered before the ride here. This is where I was actually kind of really cooling down with that big Santa sweater on. Realized that I was sweating a little bit. Had donuts, coffee, I believe, some alcohol, some hot toddies and all that before the ride started. These are some pictures along the ride, and as promised, coming up here pretty soon will be, 60 or so Santas riding down North High Street, which is kind of a busy street in Columbus, Ohio. So a portion, or not all, of the $10 entry fee went to Adaptive Sports. So that big shot we saw of all the cyclists going through, there are quite a few people on adaptive cycles, but this guy right in front of me here is by far the hero of the ride. He's on a hand cycle. And I don't know if you know High Street in Columbus, Ohio, or even if you live in Columbus, Ohio. A lot of people don't realize High Street is very hilly. There's some rolling hills on that, and I really didn't realize it until I ran on High Street. The Columbus Marathon, which I've attempted, done a few times, not well, always runs on High Street. And then when you're on High Street, you're like, I can't believe there's these hills. So anyways, on a hand cycle, this is very, very tough. And this guy really battled all the way to the end. This is at the end of the pack of people. We're getting ready to pass Starbucks here, and at this time, Starbucks was they were striking, and they were attempting to go to a union, and all the people are cheering like crazy for this guy.
Sweetest for you!
So the motorists along High Street for this entire ride were very courteous. They couldn't have been more cooperative. No one was angry. A lot of people were honking and waving. A lot of people walking the sidewalks out were just, probably amused to see 60 people dressed as Santa riding their bikes along High Street. I wonder if being dressed as Santa didn't, offer, some kind of protection for us. Because you got to figure if there's 60 people dressed as Santa, maybe one of them's the real Santa. And, if you run over the real Santa, you're probably not going to get any Christmas gifts. Well, I don't know. But people in Clintonville are pretty awesome, pretty progressive. And we had really no trouble at all riding down High Street. So the hand cyclist here is eventually going to make it back to the start. He gets an assist from this guy on the right there. He somehow manages to push his bicycle and the hand cyclist trike up a hill right at the end. I think the guy on the hand cycle really appreciated it. As far as this video goes, that's pretty much it for me. Please like, follow, share. Hopefully here within the next week or so, I'll be doing another holiday ride that's in downtown Columbus. It's a Christmas lights ride, so it'll be at night. It was actually scheduled for about a week after this ride, but the weather has gone south, or maybe north, here in Columbus. The temperatures today, which is supposed to be the date of the holiday lights ride, are like in the negatives as far as wind chill. So like, follow, share, and I'll see you next time.